Good morning, everyone. We have a special guest this morning. There is Jennifer.
I'm driving, but I am focused. Hey, everybody.
Please stay
I
focused.
am, friend. I am. Good morning,
Okay.
everyone. Would not miss this live for nothing. Okay. How's it
We have a
going?
special guest. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I think Max is
Good.
getting ready to log on.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
So Dr. Max is joining us today. Yay! And
Yay.
Dr. Max is going to be talking about detoxing
And
for the
fasting.
spring and fasting for the spring.
Can I share something real quick with
Yeah,
you guys?
go ahead.
So for me, I joined Dr. Max on a water fast. So I just broke my water fast probably 2 days ago. And I'm doing the detox, especially because of I had gum surgery the other day and I had to take all these medications. And when I took my braids out, I had a handful of hair falling out. However, with H2 Grow products, and now that I'm doing this detox, I'm going to cleanse my body out so that I can be at my ultimate. So Max is going to share some things and he'll explain why it's important. But I'm just sharing with you guys that I too have suffered from some hair loss due to all the antibiotics and medication. And I will, share those pictures and stuff so you could see. And as of 2 days after using the H2 Grow system, no shedding, y'all. No shedding.
Good,
So I just want you guys
good.
to know
That
that.
is great.
Yes.
Hey,
So
Dr. Max.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing great today. How y'all doing on early springtime?
yes.
We're
Doing
good.
great.
You
Nice.
have been missed.
Y'all,
You
thank
have
you.
been missed.
Thank you. I've been missing you guys.
Oh.
Yeah, so glad to be back. Yeah. So,
So you
yeah,
can
what
go
would you
ahead
like
and
me
start,
to?
Dr. Max. Dr. Max is going to be talking about detoxing and clean. What is your title today?
The importance of detoxing and cleansing periodically
Okay,
and
good.
consistently. Yeah. So, so I just wanted to share with the audience today the importance of making this a habit. And once you can make detoxing a habit, you can make it a way of life where it becomes second nature. Okay. The hardest part is just doing it because it is difficult mentally. And, but if you're not educating yourself during the times when you're actually embarking on the detox process, it doesn't, it doesn't, it doesn't inspire you to stay the course. So, because it's really a mental, because we've been so conditioned to eat, everything is centered around eating. Festivals is centered around eating. Uh, Dating is centered around eating. Marriages is centered around eating. So, because it's so ingrained in us, for many cultures who don't have this in their uh, protocols of keeping healthy, it's very it's a it's a it's a heavy mental challenge to embark, and the hardest part really is to take the first step. So why should we detox? Simple. The environment. Just look around you. There's pollution coming out of your tailpipes. There's toxins that they're spraying in the pesticides when they're using pest control to keep the critters at bay. Those toxins are so toxin that in actuality you shouldn't really be in your home for up until 3 days after someone sprays your house inside your house with pesticide. That's how toxin and poison these chemicals are. Not only they're poisonous chemicals, you're like, well, yeah, but we've survived and nothing has happened to us. We're not dead, yeah, but most of y'all are sick. And a lot of doctors and Western medicine either intentionally or ignorantly don't make the connection. Okay? They either intentionally or ignorantly don't make the connection. But there are medical doctors who are making the connection. They just don't have a larger platform to share the how damaging these chemicals in the environment are. When you go to pump gas, you're getting a ton load of chemicals, benzene, uh, and the ethanol, and all of these chemicals in the gas are causing all kinds of lung problems, respiratory problems, which are related to inflammation. So inflammation is the number one benefit of detoxing. Any type of arthritis, joint pain, because there's no food, there's no waste, and uh, uh, there's no waste and chemicals going into the different joints. So now the joints are shrinking and they're repackaging the cells and they're being excreted out of your body, either through bowel movement, either through urination, either through secretion of from the eyes, or secretion of the glands through your skin. So that's one of the most important reasons to take a detox. Another reason, insulin sensitivity. Huge problem in the West. Huge problem in the West, primarily in America. Okay. Insulin sensitivity means when your insulin is working so much overtime that you don't have, after a while, your body cannot produce the insulin through the pancreas to regulate your sugar level. Type 2 diabetes, or people that has so-called pre-diabetic. Okay, I'm not really sure what that is myself, but it means your glucose levels are close to the borderline where you have the potential to get diabetes. So you're not quite there. So they label it pre-diabetic. So if you know you're pre-diabetic or you're type 2 diabetic, a fast, a water fast, or some type of detox program like the ones that we use at my office, the standard process purification program, which, sorry about that, which myself and quite a few of my patients are doing this springtime. It helps to get all of that extra buildup of toxins in your body, because your body just accumulates these toxins. And to protect yourself, to protect you from dying, it creates nodules, it creates tumors, it creates cancer. These things are not within themselves detrimental to you until they get chronic. They're just warning signs. So we have to
Okay.
change our minds how we look at these conditions that we have. Yeah, you were going to say something, and then I have the third one, the third
Oh, okay.
reason for fasting. Yes, go ahead.
So, um, so the importance of detoxing for the spring, um, what is the importance of detoxing for the springtime?
Okay, good question. The importance of detoxing during springtime is because you notice, like, we're in Florida, so we don't really see the seasons changing. Like if we were living up north, it's almost like one season all year round. But we know there's no mangoes on the trees. There's no avocados on the trees. So that's how we know the season hasn't changed, because up in New York, you don't really get mangoes and you don't get things like that unless people actually grow them in their yard, which is still is hard to grow because it only grows in a tropical environment. So you see the birds, little birds chirping because the birds just had a bunch of, hatched a lot of eggs. They hatched a lot of eggs. You see flowers blooming. So the energy of the spring is a rising energy, right? It's rising, and it affects, in Chinese medicine, we identify it with the liver organ, and the liver organ is a wood element. So when you think of the wood, you think of the tree, and what does the tree do? it rises up and grows. So that energy is so strong at this time during the equinox, the spring equinox and the fall, the winter equinox and the summer equinox. They're opposites of each other. The spring equinox, winter, spring, just summer solstice, the fall equinox, the spring equinox and the fall equinox, because you have the summer solstice and you have the winter solstice. So, but the energy is the strongest at springtime. So it's not an accident that within nature, that's when you see the flowers blooming. That's when you see the new birds are having they're having babies and things of that nature, because these animals and nature have been doing the same thing for millions of years. It's only us that for the past 100 years or so, couple 100 years or so, have strayed from those processes.
Right.
Because a long time ago, our great grandparents and grandparents, they used to give us washed out. They used to give us bitters to drink. They used to give us castor oil on our stomach during that time. You didn't just eat gluttonous all the time. You ate good. Sometimes you ate the fat off the hog and all of that. But they knew how to take bitters and teas that are real nasty. But you had no choice but to drink them, because you would get a butt whooping if you didn't.
Right.
You know, like that
So
was the
what are
thing.
so what are the things that we should be doing when it comes to detoxing, especially
Well,
for the springtime?
Well, it's good to try to get some type of herbal herbal formula. If you don't have like a specific detox program, they have they have them like herbs like senna, herbs like cascara sagrada, herbs like burdock root, yellow dock root, even a little bit of slippery elm. Because if you have any type of like bacterial infection, especially your sisters who tend to get UTI, you want to have slippery elm around. It's a very slippery, when you boil the tea, it's very slippery and it pulls the bacteria out of your system. So and milk thistle is very important for the liver. So if you do like let's say you do a 1 day water fast, 3 day water fast is it's primarily when the body goes into the autophagy state. That's when the body goes in and eats up all of the old cells that it normally under any other condition cannot do, and then it repackages those cells through through the fat of your body. There's a thing called lysosomes. It repackages it in the lysosome, and then it sends it out the waste of the cells out of your body, and then the cell, it taps into the mitochondria where the cell now is renewed. Under any other condition, it doesn't do that.
Right.
So that's one of the most important reasons to do that. You shed dead cells on your skin, but internally you don't really shed them. They stay stuck to the fat. Okay, so that's some of the things you can do. You can do after you do a 1 day water fast. You can add a juice fast, so you get all organic greens and vegetables and fruits, and then you just juice them for a couple of days. You still get a tremendous amount of benefit, because it's not like the same as the water fast, but you're allowing your organs to shrink. You're allowing the intestines to shrink. When it shrinks, it's healing itself. It's not inflamed all the time. There's still a lot of benefits to healing. So for those who want to try it that way, it's fine. Another form of detox is to say, I'm not eating any animal products for a month, and I'm only going to do vegetables, and I'm going to make sure I do my salads, fresh fruits, nothing really cooked. I'm not saying you can't cook, but focus at least 70% of your eating habits on raw foods and healthier foods, healthier grains like quinoa, wild rice. That's a form of a fast also, because you're not doing certain harmful repetitive habits that you have a tendency to do.
Right.
Okay? So those are a few things that you can do as a start to help
So
detox.
Jen, okay.
Yes.
So Jen, you want to break down to what Max is talking about when it comes to our hair?
So again, so when we talk about things that we consume, again, for instance, my situation where I had to take specific antibiotics to prepare my body for a surgery with gums, because the gums is connected to the body. So if we have unhealthy gums, it's then attacks our internal organs and things like that. So for me, it was a preventative. So as they're going into the gum to create the surgery to repair and restore my gums, it it helps to eliminate toxins. But we know that medication creates toxins in the body, right? So for me, I I started suffering with extreme hair shedding because I was taking medications that I know caused hair loss.
Mm-hmm.
So I decided to focus on Max's methods because I started using the standard process as of last year. So what I've noticed using standard process this time around, Max, is that I'm starting to eliminate faster and better, because before the
Mm.
first time it was like, what's going on? Because a lot of times if we've never fast or detoxed, your body's not eliminating the things that you thought it would eliminate as you started taking the herbs or the, all of the different things that are connected to help you eliminate, clean out the intestines. So with hair loss, detoxing is important because, first of all, as trichologists, we need to know what the diet is. If our diet is not a healthy diet, now we're consuming products and medications that are creating extreme hair loss on top of health conditions that create hair loss. So, my purpose is to combat what I've experienced, and I nipped it in the bud in one day because I understand that our specific methodology, which is we use our laser. I used laser when I had my braids in. I used the laser after I took my braids out, which is helping to metabolize, recycle, regenerate, regrow, restore inside, because we're dealing with the underneath the skin, which is the dermis area. So we want to get that response, not the external, because that hair is dead. So most people think with the external part, that's not what's growing. It's coming from the inside. So if the inside is unhealthy, or you have all of these complications, it's going to increase hair shedding or even immediate complete baldness, which some people will go through an autoimmune reaction. And instead of shedding tremendous hair, you're looking in the morning and saying, where did the spot come from?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm using standard process. There's the 21-day and the 10-day, but this time around I'm doing 10 days. So with Dr. Max, he always recommends that I do a water fast. The last time I did 2 days, but I didn't really prepare well enough, so I did one day. And with my one day, I added coconut water because I'm still a novice and I
Mhm.
needed to have some form of electrolytes, but I rather pure, healthy coconut water, which is closest to our blood, and drink the water, which helps stabilize me from feeling like I'm going to pass out or I can't, sustain
Mm-hmm.
my body. And then in the first week of my detox, I do vegetarian eating, my greens, my avocado, and a lot of different stuff. And I'm cooking from scratch, meaning I'm using pure herbs. I'm using things that I wouldn't use because we're fast fed. We're going to go, oh, let me get something quick, but not realizing the way they prepare their food might have MSG in it. We don't know. Sometimes the food that tastes so great is not seasoned with the best ingredients unless you know you're going to a vegan or vegetarian location that specifically focuses on all healthy ingredients. So with the H2 Grow strengthening system, which is what I'm using, I just recycled and helped my hair to go back into the growing phase. I started seeing white buds from the root, which means my hair was in a
Mm-hmm.
telogen phase, meaning it was resting and shedding at the same time. So I knew how to nip it in the bud. But when you're not paying attention, it then spirals and it gets worse. So now you're losing instead of 10% density or 5% density, you're using 50% density, which now I'm thin. I'm scared. Something's going on. So that's why with Pat and I, we study it and we understand it from a science perspective. And if you're going through these changes, we partner up with Dr. Max because you need it internal. You need to take care of internal, and we help with external. But we understand that there is a benefit to partnering with your medical doctor, your your acupuncturist, anyone that's in the holistic healing. We all create this connection, and you need all of it. It's not one that's going to help. It's going to take a multitude of all of these components. So that's my suggestion. Again, I will share that journey. I will show you from when I took my braids out. I had a handful of hair, and then the next day I might have had maybe like our normal shedding, like a half of a dime
Mhm.
size. So again, it is possible to regenerate, recycle, and as Max was saying, the fasting helps us to regenerate, recycle new cells, and the same thing happens with our hair if you catch it
Yeah.
early. So thank you for allowing me to share that point. I know I gave a
So
lot of information. But
So the reason why we came on live to let people know what happens during springtime coming out of winter, most of the time in the winter, we're not doing anything. For those up north, they're pretty much in the house a lot. They're not
hibernating.
going out a lot. So they're probably eating a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
And that affects our hair as well.
Mm-hmm.
So Dr. Max is educating us on how we detox from coming out of the winter into the spring. And Jen is sharing how coming out of the winter into the spring when it comes to our hair. Because our hair is in a resting stage during the
Yes,
wintertime. And
absolutely.
during the springtime, we're starting to see a little bit more shedding than you normally
Exactly.
shed. So on a normal, you shed about 50 to 75 strands a day, but in the springtime you might see a little bit more, like maybe 50 to 100
Right.
strands. So we was educating you guys on that and
Right.
letting you know that we do have products that help you shed a little less and to get that hair back to the way it was before we went into the winter.
And also, Dr. Max has a more simpler detox process than if you're not consistent or patient to do it the old school methodology.
Yes.
So there's something for everybody, and as he spoke, do what works for you. But if you're looking for an assistance and you're looking for something that's going to give you more a systematic approach where you're not having to create all of these herbs and things like that, that's why I chose standard process because it's at its purest form for me to use it, and I've seen the benefits in my skin, in my energy, in my eliminating, going more regular. Some people say, "Oh, I'm regular." I mean, after every meal, my brother says you should be eliminating. Some people aren't even eliminating that many times a day.
Mm-hmm.
So those things are important. So if we're not paying signs, and as we come from 30 years old to 40 to 50, our bodies are not functioning the way that it would younger. So we have to help it because of our process and our lifestyles that reduce the natural way that your body would eliminate or 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 allow itself to heal itself faster. So I'll give it back to Max because again, this is the topic, and I started my detox before him, but he's also getting ready to start the same process. When in a week from today? When are you doing the
Maybe
detox?
Monday because
By
I have to
Monday,
when I break the fast later on today. I have to break it with juice,
right?
maybe another day of juicing, and then I'll start with into softer foods like soft fruits, and then I'll go into eating the restricted foods because I'm doing the 21-day purification.
Correct.
So then I'll probably start Monday. Yeah,
Yeah.
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 But you ladies made some very good points.
Thank you.
Like, you're very informative. on the process of the hair growth and the shedding. And Pat made an excellent point that I should re-emphasize
Mm-hmm.
on the cycles and how the energy works, because she's correct. Because in the wintertime in ancient Egypt, the philosophy of the ancient Egyptians were that the 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 sun goes through a resting phase on December 22nd
Look at that.
when it hits the winter solstice,
Mm-hmm.
and the sun and the winter element is connected to the kidney element. So
Mm.
the kidney is very weak during the time of winter. So it doesn't like cold, so it likes more warming foods and things of that nature. So to compensate. So during the winter time, the sun, it represents the sun being crucified in the wintertime, and 3 months later it resurrects. So in the
Mm.
story of Christ, 3 days later he resurrected. It was
Right.
symbolic of the sun,
Got it.
because they had the same story in ancient Egypt of Horus and Osiris, his father. So these stories were these these similar tales were very old, and they were indicative of what was happening in in the planets and
Right.
the planetary bodies. So she's correct. So the whole energy of the body is in a resting phase
Yeah.
during the winter
Mm.
time. So
Yes.
that's why even the hair follicles, which their hair cells that create the hair follicles, are
Correct.
in a resting phase.
Yes.
And now that it's waking up during springtime, which is when the energy from winter to spring resurrects.
Right.
That's why nature goes through the
Look
process.
at that.
So we're all participating in this joyful awakening
Mm-hmm.
or dance. And when we look at it as a joyous thing, when we rejoice more, we don't wallow in the mire so much, where when we go into problems, we can't say, well, I'm alive.
Right.
Even if I don't have a place to live, but I'm alive and I have a mind.
Mm-hmm.
I have I have something that's more powerful than ChatGPT. I have something more powerful than any kind of AI machine.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care how advanced AI is. The most advanced intelligence is human intelligence when
Correct.
it's connected to divine intelligence, which is
Yeah.
spirituality.
Right.
And that's what we have to help our patients and our clients to understand, that we are human beings we are spiritual beings having a human experience.
Got it.
And we forget that we're spiritual. And then to add on to what Jennifer was saying, in addition to what Pat was saying, is fasting also builds the immune system. So when the immune system is compromised through stress and poor eating habits, it also has a uh, uh, detrimental effect to your health and your hair, okay, and the
Right.
hair on the body. So that
Mm-hmm.
was an excellent point that she made. And
Thank
then
you.
the fourth thing I wanted to add was that when you do a fast, like a water fast, it does bring clarity to your mind.
Oh my
I
God.
don't know how it is, but the
Me
spiritual
too.
people knew it. Right now, my brothers and sisters are participating in Ramadan.
Mm.
Normally it's in the summertime, but it happened to fall on equinox time. So they're doing a form of fasting now for 30 days.
Wow.
They're doing an intermittent fasting. So they
Right.
fast
Mm.
completely for 12 hours, not even water,
Mm.
a complete dry fast, no
Wow.
water. And then when the sun goes down, they break their fast with fruits. Be upon him, he would break his fast with dates, uh, something like a little sweet, but it's still light. And then he would probably do fruits, and and then some people do the meats. A lot of them, it depends on the culture that you're from. But the best way to enjoy Ramadan, similar to how we're explaining, uh, doing the juice fast, restricting your food to maybe fresh foods, raw foods, maybe certain grains like the quinoa grains, the wild rice. These
Mm-hmm.
grains have more nutrients in them. They're not as starchy
Right.
as white rice and the white potatoes, sweet potatoes. So even my Muslim brothers and sisters can benefit from this practice that they can implement in observing Ramadan.
Awesome.
So you all made excellent points.
Thank
And
you.
if anybody have any questions, they could definitely feel free to contact me through Bronze Man Acupuncture. I'm Bronze Man Acupuncture Inc. on Facebook, and I'm on obviously through Instagram. And I can be reached also online. You can go to my webpage, and all my contact information is there, and all my contact information is in the DM. And I'll be glad to assist you. Feel free. I can give you a free 15-minute consultation to just get an idea of what's going on, and then you can book uh, a full consultation. Then we can really go in details to find out what's going on and how we can help anybody out there. From your clients who need to strengthen their hair, and obviously, like you said, if it's showing up in the hair, if it's showing up in the skin, if it's showing up in the eye, if it's showing up in the love department, then it's coming from inside, not
Absolutely.
outside.
Great,
Thank you all
So
for
great
having me out.
conversation. Oh, thank you for being on with us.
thank
We really
you,
enjoyed
Matt.
the
Yes.
information and knowledge that you bring, and more to come. So you guys can always DM, send us a question that you want us to ask Dr. Matt or even ourselves. We are here to empower and uplift our brothers and sisters, and anyone that's going through problems. It's not just brown people, but at the end of the day, we have to.
Anyone.
It's
As long as
anybody.
you
We just want to
human, you
support.
got
Yes,
flesh, blood, and
we
bone.
support you.
We
We support
all
you.
have the same. We all am living on the
Yes,
same planet.
absolutely.
God is flowing through everybody, and
Yeah,
everybody should
exactly.
follow these ancient and natural processes to
Exactly.
get healthier.
Yeah.
Period.
We're just here to give you knowledge, and the more knowledge you have, the more empowered you are, and the more you can help yourself because you know better, you do better. So,
And let me
yeah.
tell you, eating healthy and practicing these natural alternative approaches, which we've lost touch to, it makes you a better person.
Yeah.
I don't care how angry you are. A lot of the anger is coming from stress and the poor foods that we eat, believe it or not,
Mm,
or the poor habits from smoking and
mm,
drinking.
right.
Drinking alcohol obviously affects the liver. Damages
Hmm.
the liver.
Right.
All all people who have issues with their liver, like hepatitis or hepatic issues, these things come from the liver getting too overheated and having inability to process the fats to break down the fat in the body through the gallbladder, which is when it produces bile, it affects your liver. So you short fuse, you short temper. So by eating uh, a more natural approach, you don't have to be a vegetarian. Eating just means knowing when to eat, knowing when not
Right.
to eat, knowing
Yeah.
what to eat, knowing how to choose the quality of what you're eating to
Right.
be healthy. So
Right.
all of these vegetarians I'm vegetarian, but all these vegetarians who putting all of these fears all these fear in people and oh you're killing the animals and blah 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 blah. I don't subscribe to that approach. All the people who are around me who became vegetarians, I'm sometimes I may be pescatarian. All the people around me who were influenced, they weren't influenced. Sorry about that. I happen to be cutting the grass today. They were not influenced by me scaring them or making them feel guilty.
Got
That's
it.
that's not a. I don't see that as a godlike process. God never. Let me tell you, if the Most High or the Supreme Being was upset at you, you'd be in worse condition. You'd just probably be dead. But you're not. He gives us
Right.
the free will
Yeah.
and to find our way to express ourselves
Right.
individually. And I'm not here to force anybody to be a vegetarian. But if you would like to, I'm here to help you so you can do it in a healthier way because we got a lot of sick vegetarians out there.
Right.
So that's it. So by eating healthier, thinking healthier, associating yourself with healthier people, you find that your life begins to progress. You find like things just magically happen. And I'm experiencing that every day. And I wouldn't trade this for anything. So I just wanted to share that.
Thank you for
But
sharing it.
Thank
Thank you.
yeah.
you.
All
So
right.
the important message that Jen, Dr. Max, and I are trying to express to our to everyone is that eating healthy, keeping your insides healthy, keeps your hair healthy. Pretty much, that's what we're trying to say.
Yes.
We summed it
Exactly.
up in different areas because Dr. Max is a doctor of natural medicine, and Jen and I are trichologists who deals
Certified
with clients.
Trichologist. Yes.
Yes, that deals with clients. We're trichologists and cosmetologists that deal
Cosmetologist.
with, yeah, that deals with hair loss and other issues, scalp disorders and such. So we wanted to bring this information to you because we like to give a lot of information to let people know that a lot of the things that they're doing, a lot of things, medication and getting older and all of those good things starts from eating clean, detoxing our bodies to keep our hair healthy.
That's right.
Yes.
So it's all connected, guys.
It is.
That's right.
So
It's all connected. And the way
it's
you
all
and,
connected.
and the way you think also. It
Yes.
affects the hair also.
Yes, for
Stress
sure.
Yes.
Yes.
affects the hair also. Like
Number one.
people, some people have a tendency to think, well, this person didn't call me. They have an attitude. Da 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 da. And but the minute you go to thinking that way, then maybe that's what happens. But why didn't you just say, well, maybe something happened to the person, or maybe they're going through something right now, or maybe they lost my number, or maybe some. Why do we always have to go to the negative to
Right.
because that's how we were conditioned. That's
Right.
Yes.
how we. That's not our natural state of being. And
No.
when we go immediately to the positive, well, maybe my head is shedding. I don't know why. Maybe let me seek somebody who knows a little bit more about this that can help me. Okay, now they're
Right.
saying, well, you need to also change your diet. Diet? What diet got to do with it? Well, if you're open, something led you to me, then have some trust and faith that the thing that led you to me for a reason to help
There
you
you
get
go.
your hair and your beauty back. And
Amen.
now to maybe change your life, and maybe now you may be an influence for other people in your family. So, yes, it's all connected,
Yes.
right? And I thank you all again because I
We
can
can
go like a
go on and on,
jet
y'all,
plane.
about this great. But this was such a great live. Again, I thank Patricia, I thank myself, and Max, my brother. He is my brother. I thank you guys for allowing us to collaborate these conversations because it's not just about providing the service. We have to have the conversation. And when you have the conversation, now you have to be open to, is that me? And, and maybe not.
Hmm.
Oh, I
That's
know
right.
somebody. We just want you to be enlightened. And the more you know, the more you could support someone else that's going through something, and we could catch it early because it's all about catching it early.
Yes.
The
Exactly.
sooner you catch
Exactly.
something, no matter what it is, you have a better opportunity to react and respond to it and allow yourself to find the solution. So
And
that's
and
what I'm
and
going to
for
leave
and
with.
for those who don't have a problem with their hair, educating yourself right now on platforms like this
Yes.
will help you to prevent that. Because
Preventative measures.
if your family has a proclivity towards hair loss,
Yeah.
then why not just start learning these processes and start using these products
Great
and
point.
these supplements in your teens? Because
Yes.
I started this processing this path at the age of 17.
Wow.
So, and tomorrow I'll be 55.
Happy birthday.
Happy
Okay.
birthday!
Thank
Appreciate
you.
that.
So I
Awesome.
feel good. My energy is good. I don't take any medications. I have no high blood pressure. I have no diabetes. Thank the Most High. So
Yes.
yes.
Amen
So
to that.
That's
preventative
awesome.
Yes.
is what we're here for, also to help your clients who have healthy hair keep the healthy hair.
Correct.
And
All right.
contact these ladies here because their products work. I use them, and you know, I can
Yeah.
bear witness. All right.
Thank you so much. We appreciate that.
Thank you.
So Jen and I want you guys to know that we added a discovery call and a virtual consult on our website, www.h2growinc.com.
Yes.
So for those who need a little bit more information or would like to talk to us, please go on our website and place your order for a discovery call or a virtual consult
For
consultation
hair loss. Yes.
for hair loss.
Consultation.
Okay.
Yes. Okay.
This was a great live. We
And
thank
as
you
we
for
always
joining
say, be patient.
Thank you for having me.
and
You're
stay
welcome.
patient and be
And be
consistent.
consistent.
All right.
Have a great Friday, guys. We love
Yes.
you and enjoy your day.
Yes. Thank you so
Yes.
much. Have a
Thank
Thank
you.
wonderful day,
you.
everyone.
I'll have a
All
good day.
right.
Talk to you all later.
Okay.
Take
Okay.
care. Bye bye.
Bye.